Nothing quite beats a good ghost story, a haunted tale of restless spirits haunting walls and tormenting the world of the living. For the most part, stories like this exist merely in literature and movies. However, that is not always the case. Most of these stories stem from reality, with haunted locations existing all over the world. These are the top 5 most haunted places in the world, part 2. Forewarning, my pronunciation may be brutal on some of these. I apologize in advance. I'm trying my best. Let's jump in. Coming in at number 5, we have Chateau de Brissac, France. Chateau de Brissac is a French chateau located in the Brissac-Quince areas of the commune of Brissac-Lory-aux-Bois. That's the best we're getting. The property is owned by the Brissac family, with the head bearing the title of the Duke of Brissac. It also has a very unique history, with King Louis XIII and his mother Marie de Medici meeting in 1620 to discuss their neutral territory of the chateau. However, these talks didn't last long, with the Queen Mother being banished. Now, according to locals, the chateau is best known as being the home of the Green Lady. She is said to be the ghost of King Charles VII's illegitimate daughter, Charlotte of France. History tells that Charlotte was killed by her husband after he caught her having an affair, and the outfit she was killed in was a green dress, hence the name, the Green Lady. According to visitors, she is often reported to be roaming the chapel's tower room, and has also been heard moaning in the early hours. As of today, the chateau is open to the general public for tours and even overnight stays in the guest rooms, with its theatre hosting the annual Val de Lory festival. However, if you do opt to stay the night inside of its walls, just keep an eye out for the Green Lady. Coming in at number 4, we have the Toll Booth from Aberdeen, UK. Located in Aberdeen, Scotland, the Toll Booth is the oldest building in the city, constructed between the years of 1616 and 1629, with it being attached to the Aberdeen Sheriff Court on Union Street. The Toll Booth is a former jail which now operates as a museum. However, like everything else on our list, it is reported as being one of the most haunted places in the world. As I said, the Toll Booth was constructed as a prison, even housing Aberdeen's first guillotine for the criminals, with it still on display there today for the public to view. In 1630, a woman by the name of Marianne Hardy became a prisoner at Toll Booth for supposedly practicing witchcraft, and it was in the Toll Booth that she suffered quite a brutal death, with her being strangled and burned in front of a watching crowd. In the mid-1700s, it later became a place where children were housed before being sent off to live in American colonies. Now, for a place that witnessed so many murders, executions, and torture, it should come as no surprise that it is reported to be incredibly haunted, with it even catching the attention of paranormal investigators, including the television series Most Haunted. Visitors to the prison museum have reported hearing chains rattling, footsteps, keys, as well as spotting a 4-foot-tall man wearing 1920s attire. Very spooky indeed. Coming in at number 3, we have Hill of Crosses, Lithuania. The Hill of Crosses in Lithuania may be the most remarkable location we have on our entire list, because, as the name suggests, it is quite literally a hill filled to the brim with crosses. The Hill of Crosses is a site of pilgrimage in northern Lithuania, with the precise location being uncertain. According to historians, it is said that the first crosses were placed there after the 1831 uprising. Year after year, crosses, crucifixes, and even statues of the Virgin Mary have been brought to this location, with the exact number of crosses now being unknown. However, some reports state between 55,000 to 100,000, which is insane. Back in 1993, my year of birth, Pope John Paul II visited the Hill of Crosses, declaring it to be the place for hope, peace, love, and sacrifice. Now, over the years, crosses have been placed there for many reasons: to express a desire for Lithuanian independence, and like I stated before, as a form of defiance following an uprising in 1831. During Soviet occupation between 1944 to 1991, the crosses were bulldozed 3 times by the Soviets. However, locals were persistent and they kept rebuilding. A BBC reporter visited the site back in 2017, stating, I quote, "As the wind blows across the fields of rural Swalia County, ornate rosaries clink against metal and wooden crucifixes, filling the air with eerie chimes." As you would expect, a place like this filled with such history and such unrest is reported to be haunted, with many visitors to the site experiencing strange goings-on and a general sense of unease amongst the crosses. Coming in at number 2, we have Arrowdale Asylum, Australia. Also referred to as the Arrowdale Mental Hospital, this is a former psychiatric hospital located in Ararat, which is a rural city in southwest Victoria Victoria, Australia. Originally named Ararat Lunatic Asylum, this was commissioned along with 2 other buildings, Kew and Beechworth, to house the growing number of, I quote, lunatics in Victoria. The asylum at the time was a sprawling complex, with it estimated that around 13,000 people died there during its operation. However, not all of these deaths were attributed to natural causes. Some were said to have been tortured and even murdered. Each and every year, tours take place at the former asylum, with it being reported that the ghost of Nurse Kelly is said to haunt the walls, specifically the women's wing of the hospital. Visitors to the asylum have reported feeling ghost hands touch them, cold air in certain spots, and unexplainable sensations. The asylum was decommissioned back in the early 1990s, with many of the patients being transferred to community living. It has since become a campus of the Melbourne Polytechnic, administered by Melbourne's Polytechnic's Ararat Training Centre. And finally, in at number 1, we have Myrtles Plantation, USA. Located in St. Francisville, Louisiana in the United States, Myrtles Plantation is a historic home and former antebellum plantation that is rumored to be one of the most haunted homes in all of the United States. Now, like all famous ghost stories and haunted house stories, the plantation is rumored to be built atop a burial ground, specifically an ancient Tunica Indian burial ground. Back in 1796, the home was constructed by General David Bradford and was named Laurel Grove. He resided there for several years until President John Adams pardoned him for his role in the Whiskey Rebellion that took place in 1799. Quite the history. People came and went from the home, and during the period of 1854, the home was officially renamed the Myrtles, after the crepe myrtles that grew in the vicinity. It's said that around 12 ghosts haunt the Myrtles plantation, with 10 of them supposedly having been murdered inside of the home. However, historical records only report the death of William Winter, a former attorney who lived in the plantation from 1865 to 1871. He was ultimately shot by a stranger before he staggered inside of his home and died on the 17th step of the stairs. Visitors to the plantation often report hearing his dying footsteps, as do employees in the hotel, which is of course what it is now, a bed and breakfast specifically, that offers historical and mystery tours. It doesn't just stop there though, many also report sightings of the ghost of a former slave, as well as a haunted mirror that is said to hold the ghost of Sarah Woodruff and her children who once resided in the home. Very spooky indeed. If you're feeling adventurous, go book yourself a room. Just be careful when ascending the stairs and looking in the mirror. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with our list? Were there any haunted places that we missed? Have you ever encountered something paranormal or supernatural? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 3. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos. Top 5 dumbest horror movie sequels, part 3. Jenny G said, "I'll always know what you did last summer." Enough said. Facts. To be honest, I think I blanked that one out of my memory. I don't think it no longer exists inside of here. I think I've seen it probably once or twice, and that's enough. Red Comrade of Steel 1974 said, "Lucy McPhee, wow, you're so amazingly angelic." Thank you. I thought I'd give myself that compliment because I wasn't feeling angelic that day, so thank you very much. It's my porcelain skin. Sometimes it's confusing. I look like an angel. Not in that sense. I'm not hyping myself up. I just look very pale. Chris Miller said, "I like your long hair. You look beautiful in short hair too, but the long hair gives you a Morticia Addams vibe. Love the long hair." Well, I've never had short hair, so I don't know where you're getting this information from. I've only ever had long hair. And yes, I agree, very Morticia Addams or Wednesday Addams. But I don't think I'll ever have short hair. It would not be a good look. My face is too round. Chris Homburg said, "The Ring 2, the deer attack scene made me fall on the floor laughing. You know, it was just people pushing dead deer head through the car windows. I don't know how Naomi Watts kept a straight face because I couldn't. I honestly don't really remember The Ring 2. I think I blanked that out as well. I don't remember any deer scene, but if there was a deer scene, I would probably be laughing too. Yeah, poor Naomi Watts. She went through a weird blip with her career for a period of time. She was just doing anything and everything." Ricky Delamar said, "I like to pretend cabin fever patient 0 never existed." As do I, but I also found out they existed and I had to share it with the world, so you're welcome. King Bollock said, "I loved the first 2 Ghoulies films when I was a kid. Ghoulies 2 is worth it for the scream until you like it, if nothing else." Fair enough. It depends why you're watching it. I personally won't rewatch. I don't have time for that. I'd rather just rewatch The Last Vampire on Earth, which everyone needs to watch. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And until next time, I'll see you later. Brizak, Lori, Abwa. Brizak, Lori. It also, oh, I didn't look this up. 10, 11, 10, 11, 12, 13. King Louis XIII. Wait, were there 13? X is 10, yeah? It also has a very unique history with the King Marie de Medici. It's not the 13th, that's wrong. Marie oh, I'm getting angry. 13. Okay, yeah, it's 13. Okay. Okay, editor, it's getting better from here. We're gonna breeze right through. Fields of rural wow. Swalia.